Hey guys, we just got back from Thor Ragnarok, and woo! That was one of the greatest action comedies
fucking epic
I have ever seen. Go out and see this film. You will be thoroughly entertained. You will be thoroughly laughing the whole time. You will enjoy. And I didn't even have any alcohol, Joe. I was fucking ready. This film was great. Holy shit. And, there was a potential that the film could have been overhyped a little bit because of the ratings on Rotten Tomatoes being like 98% at some point. I think it's come down to 92%. But I realized that that's not actually a 98 percentile or 92 percentile. It just means that the majority of critics rate it 6 and above. Yeah. I didn't realize that on Rotten Tomatoes. So I kind of went in with high expectations, and the film met those high expectations in the sense that this is a Marvel film that sort of knows that there's been fucking 18 films already, and people are getting tired of the formula. And so it sort of bucks this trend and gives us a completely different Thor movie, right? You were saying in the car that if you
watch Thor 2 and then watch this movie,
no, like, Thor 1 and then
Thor 2 and then this movie, like you'd break your neck. They change direction so fast, like the tone, and it's a way better movie than any of the Thors.
Oh, and that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. Really good. They found a niche for Thor. This is basically like all those kind of, the advertisements where Thor's kind of joking and he's like, yeah, Civil War, well, what was that? I don't know what that is. You know what I mean? He's just joking with his roommate or something in his apartment. That is this Thor. And as that, Chris Hemsworth is perfect. They found a niche for Thor movies, and it is great.
Oh yeah, I fucking loved it through and through. I could not stop laughing.
I know! One of the funniest Marvel movies to date. There was not a single character in here that I didn't like. Joe, nope. I can already tell what me and Joe's favorite character is because we're laughing so much and I was pushing Joe.
More screen time.
I know. Who is it, Joe?
Korg.
Korg is so fucking cool. And to add to his coolness, all of his lines are funny. I love the way he talks. His accent, like an Australian type accent.
He's New Zealander.
He's amazing. And get this, small tidbit, he's the director of the film. How do you say his last name? Waititi? This director is amazing. He did such a good job.
He also did What We Do in the Shadows. I don't know if you've seen it or not. Fucking hilarious.
Oh, no way.
That's probably why it was so funny.
Oh, no way. Joe loves that thing, and I thought it was pretty cool, too. So, wow. Just excellent. And there's action in it. There's colors, brighter colors than you've ever seen in a Thor film. There's stakes. We're talking Ragnarok. They actually do, we'll talk a little bit more in spoilers. So, there's tension. There's real stakes here. There's character arcs that get resolved. This is basically, what surprised me the most is how this film not only resolves Thor's arc, Ragnarok arc, and Asgardian arc, but also manages to service Hulk's continuing storyline in a really interesting way. And Hulk was another standout character from me. Hulk. Not Banner Hulk, because in this there's actually two separate entities, just like they have had in the comics. Now they're alluding to that, and I wanted to see more Hulk. And when Banner showed, I was like, oh man, Ruffalo, I don't want to see. I want to see more Hulk. But then Ruffalo earned his place too, and I was like, all right, Ruffalo, fuck yeah, dude. And I was like, just everybody, the writing. Who's a writer? Eric Pearson and Craig Kyle. Mwah. Beautiful dudes, beautiful. What else? What do you got to say?
It was really, really good. I was worried because it follows a story that's very near and dear to me. I love the Planet Hulk comic, and I love the animated movie that came along with it.
And I want to apologize to you because, it seems like Marvel doesn't really, Hulk isn't, getting his own movies. He's not getting his own War Hulk movie, but if this is what you got, how would you?
It was amazing. So
really?
I was worried that I'm never gonna get a live action Planet Hulk, and it's never happening. We're just not getting it.
Maybe 20 years in the future when they reboot everything.
But this was good. It misses some of the big things of that storyline, but I would not be disappointed if this is the only vision of Planet Hulk that we get.
For sure. And Loki is in this again. So they're run the risk a little bit of sort of repeating some of the stuff that they did in Thor Dark World, She-Hulk, right?
Yeah.
Where they sort of team up. But this one is done just as well. It feels appropriate, feels good. Loki is Loki, okay? And it resolves in a very interesting way. How about any new characters? What other new characters showed up? Like the Valkyrie, Joe?
What was your name?
You know, I don't know. That's the one
Valkyrie?
thing I wanted to say was like
142?
Civ. But it's not. It's like a new character. She's just the last remaining Valkyrie who are these.
She's like a little love interest. But,
Yeah, slightly, yeah.
The way they played that was pretty funny. He was always trying to flirt with her and whatnot. It's very
Oh
comical.
my God! Just
It's
there's
very
so much
comical.
comedy in this. This really is a comedy with action in it. This is one of the greatest
By
actiony
far,
comedies.
one of the best.
It comes to mind. What films come to mind when you think action comedy?
Rush Hour.
Rush Hour. Well, yeah, I guess it's a little kung fu action comedy, and then Well, no, Expendables take itself seriously.
But it's really a comedy because like how
Yeah.
funny those movies are. But
Yeah, but this is one of my favorites, if not the favorite one. And actually, I'm gonna have to say this is like one of my favorite Marvel films.
Yeah.
And I want to say it's my favorite and the best, but it's hard to say that because you could legitimately put this into a different category and sense, the more serious comic book action films with tension and stakes and all that, you could go to the Avengers and the second Avengers, but yet still hold this film just as high in a different way because it's got so much comedy and the timing in this is just on par. It's great. Everybody has something to do. All of the characters come back. The only character that didn't come back and that I don't want to come back and don't really care about is who is it? Natalie Portman's character?
Oh, Jane.
Jane.
Well, they
Jane,
resolved that. She broke up with him.
She broke up with him.
He broke up with her.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. So we're probably
it's a mutual thing.
We're probably not gonna see any more of her. Maybe she costs too much to try to fit into this, but I think it works. It sort of unshackles Thor and allows the writers and directors to do kind of whatever they want with him without having to constantly bring him back to Earth or factor in a plot line for sort of his scientist girlfriend, which he no longer has this sort of attachment to. But standout characters, Joe, what did you think of Jeff Goldblum's performance?
Amazing.
Alex,
Everything about
he was
this
so
movie
good.
was fucking
He was so
amazing,
good.
man.
Alex,
Seriously,
I love Jeff Goldblum. I mean, I think all the Jeff Goldblum did was a cameo. He was like in the movie, and he was really like. Someone on the internet described it as like the most Jeff Goldblum that's ever Jeff Goldblum.
Yes,
Like, yeah.
he was being Jeff Goldblum.
He was The only thing I wanted to see was him kind of
I
lying
love
on
it.
the table with his shirt undone a little bit.
You wanted a little sexy.
Just, it's like bring it back a little bit.
Every damn Karl Urban was good. Now, if there were some, let's start to get nitpicky because there's honestly no negatives. I really can't think of a particular negative. Oh, okay, go ahead.
My only problem with the whole movie is. Do we want to get into spoilers?
No. We have to do a separate section for that. So
Well,
I'll save that for later.
My
But-
negative.
And it's real little.
There's no spoilers.
My negative is it wasn't long enough.
Yeah, I wanted more, and I just Karl Urban's character. He is sort of the new. The guy that puts the sword down and controls the Rainbow Road. Heimdall, right. He the all-seeing thing, except for he can't really see too well. He can't see. He doesn't have that gift. So initially, he's played really well, and I love it. He's like, look at all my stuff, and I was like, all right, I'm going to love this character. But they kind of give him one thing to do, and this thing that he does with his eyes, and you can tell, like, man... he gives you one emotion, and he does that throughout the entire film until the end where you get a resolution. And I started, these looks that he's given, it's like one too many. I'm like, all right, I get it. I get what you're trying to go for. Well, you talk that in spoilers. But really, that's just a small, tiny thing that... I just don't know what else to say about this film except for go out and fucking see this thing.
The cameos.
If you love comedy, if you love action, the cameos.
The cameos are really, really good. You've got a lot of like Chris Hemsworth's brother's in this. Like,
oh, I didn't know that.
He in the fake play, he plays Thor.
Oh, that's his brother.
Yeah,
okay.
Sam Neill's in it.
And there are other Marvel characters that show up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's surprising. And then there are some actors that you wouldn't normally think are in a Marvel film, and we'll save that for you. That just makes you laugh out loud. So this film went in with a brave, bold, new direction, and it works. The writing, the directing, the comedy. It's so witty. I laughed at almost every single joke in this film. Like, I haven't laughed that hard in the theater in a long time, but yet still gotten my action and my superhero fucking badass fix. And I love it. This is one that I'm definitely buying as soon as it comes out, because I want to hear the commentary tracks and I want to watch all the behind the scenes stuff. Fantastic. Taking Thor to outer space and putting him on this junk planet and sort of shocking you with, oh my God, Thor's powers are kind of, he's kind of banished again. Except it's not banished to Earth, it's banished to this wacky ass planet where anything can happen.
Planet Hulk.
Planet Hulk, yeah, pretty much. And you'll see like fucking crowds just oh, and then that place to Hulk, he's torn between Earth and then finding his place because does Earth really want Hulk? Because in the previous Marvel films he's been a bit of a nuisance and they're scared of him, and that is touched on here too. So if we see this continued Hulk and this Banner and this Hulk, I'm actually ready for a standalone Hulk film. But it's tough because they took this storyline and sort of wrapped it, and they used that already. You know what I mean? But I would be down for that. We'll have to see. And there is a post-credit scene and another end credit scene, so stay for both. And let's just do some final verdicts and we can jump into spoilers and spoil it all for you, okay? For people that have seen it, because I know you've already gone out and seen it, and if you didn't, you're not my friend. Joe, Alex, we're gonna go Alex.
Oh, it's on with me?
Yes, we always start with Joe for some reason.
For this style of movie, if you're going, I think this is a 10
it's within this genre,
This is a 10 out of 10.
Action comedy. What? Did you say 10 out of 10?
I did.
Wow, I can't believe we got this guy to do a 10 out of 10.
But
Woo, up here.
Yeah.
There's that butt though.
There's
I want to hear the butts.
If you're looking,
I got butts too.
If your expectations are in the wrong place, I could see you being disappointed.
Yeah.
I was not.
Uh-huh.
And if you want to see a serious Iron Man 1 style movie, it's funny,
Yeah.
but it's not. It's more. This is like 2 hours of like amazing fan service, and I loved every second of it.
That is a perfect way to put it. It's 2 hours of fan service. Now, but in my opinion, it's good fan service. Fan service doesn't always have to be a bad thing. A lot of people use that word in a negative connotation. This is literally fan service done right, done at the highest level, done at the official level, done with appropriateness that fits perfectly into the lore, that takes that direction that works. This is Thor now, and I don't want him to go back to his normal Thor one.
Boring.
Thespian, I don't know what they were going for previously. This is it. Fantastic. Joe?
I'm going to agree with Alex.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Damn. Now, let me preface this again. A 10 out of 10 rating, even for our movie reviews, is much like our game reviews. That does not mean the film is perfect. There is no perfect film. There is no perfect video game for that matter. 10 out of 10, what that means is it's a legendary rating. And what that means is you're gonna compare films to this film. You must go see it.
Yeah.
It's one that you're probably gonna end up buying. It's one that is a badass seal of approval, and it's one that you compare other films within this genre to, like, oh, they're gonna do another one of these, like say Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I'm gonna compare it to Thor Ragnarok and see how I enjoy it.
This one was better than Guardians of the Galaxy 1, and that was a great movie.
It was great.
I love the visuals and I love the song choices they did. Like the first
song choices are great.
First battle, Led Zeppelin, that was a great choice.
Yeah, it was all throughout the movie, Joe. Even the ending battle, it was great. We got to see even more Asgardian lore and stuff. Raising Fenrir, I think, is that wolf. This undying wolf. I'm like, how the fuck are you gonna kill this wolf? You know the comics. There's no way. I don't think you can kill him, and they handle it perfectly. Okay, so let's jump into spoilers. After I give my rating, I gotta give my rating. It's a 10 out of 10, of course.
board.
All across the board, 10 out of 10. And I realize we just saw this movie 15 minutes ago, but I guarantee you this is one I'm very confident in saying it's a legendary rating. It's one that I highly recommend you see. One of my favorite Marvel films, and very, very few negatives or problems with the film. The most you could say is the tonal thing. It may be, oh, well, it's a good thing. It really is. This is the way they should be. But even within the film, some people have complained, oh, well, you got this storyline and this storyline, or maybe that classic sort of trope of criticism where it's like, the film doesn't know what it wants to be. Shut up with that. It knows what it wants to be. It isn't, you know, people said that about the Orville. It's, oh, is it a comedy or is it TNG parody? It's both. It can be both, and you can execute them well both, and this is perfectly executed. 10 out of 10. Stay tuned for the spoilers. If not, thank you for watching, and we will see you guys on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys. All right, so spoilers discussion. Anybody want to start this thing? Who is the cameo?
Well,
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Well, Doctor Strange is kind of the first one.
Okay, yeah, let's go to Doctor Strange.
It was.
I loved him in his classic suit. I was wondering if they were actually gonna do his yellow gloves and his sort of pouches and shit. And they said, "Fuck it, we're doing it." That is him. And I love his interactions, just constantly pouring him beers, making him happy. And I was like, ugh. And Thor loves his beers. He drinks it in like half a second.
The whole scene was super funny. I love the little where Loki's kind of giving him shit. He's like, "You're just a lame wizard," and then Doctor Strange, "I have enough." And just sends them off. He's just like, "No, no, absolutely not."
One of the things that I could say, we want to grab a negative or a nitpick. None of it takes away from the film, but Odin's send away I don't think was grandiose enough. Odin is one of the most powerful beings in the Marvel universe, and the way and here's why. I don't think he's truly dead, because that wasn't a good enough send off for that character, where he sort of turns into sort of, I don't know, little fireflies or whatever, little flames, and he goes away. And he sort of dissipates. No, it's got to be way more impressive than that of Odin dying. And so Anthony Hopkins is probably gone. He's no longer a part of the Marvel Universe, and this is how they're going to send off Odin. And I thought he needed a stronger send-off just to pay respects to the comic book version character, and the character within this universe was basically the most powerful thing, and what Thor eventually grows into. This has a great arc to it. By the end of this film, Thor is Odin, but he's a space version of Odin, and he has all of Asgard on a spaceship, and they're flying through space, and that is now Asgard, because the way to solve this, Hela, who is one of the most powerful villains to come in here, the firstborn, they couldn't defeat her. She's too powerful. And so they really had to bring about the prophecy of Ragnarok to destroy Asgard. Yeah. So that Hela and the Severin or whatever the guys...
The big devil guy.
The big devil guy just fucking destroy the planet together.
I thought he was going to have like a funny moment. He's like, "Fear me," and then he looks down. There's
me too.
There.
Me too. Because there was so much comedy.
Well, we got it with Hulk, like, because Hulk leaped me off the mountain. Yeah,
that was great.
Hulk wants to fight this demon, and Thor's like, "No, you moron! We want everything to be destroyed and stuff." But he's a monster. Hulk, you're the best. That's another unresolved thing that they left there. He transformed into Hulk, didn't go back into Banner.
We don't know.
Right, so they're leaving that open. Maybe we're going to get more of Hulk stuck in Hulk mode, which I like and I want.
He was scared he was going to just completely stay.
Right, that was a side plot where it's like, okay, I can't turn back into the Hulk, or I'm going to maybe never be Banner again.
We got enough of, like the good fan service, but it wouldn't have been too much to give me the Banner brain Hulk body that I really want, because when that happens in the comics, because when
they're saving that, they have to save that for its own Hulk movie, or maybe I don't know, one of the Avengers or something for Infinity War. But I can't wait to see that. That's gonna be awesome. What else? Let's see. So the villain. A lot of Marvel movies have had problems with villains. What did you think of the villain?
This is one of them. I mean, this is a villain that she's a good character. She's powerful. You don't see
But she's
it.
one track.
You don't see a lot of her actually, but you know that she's like the threat is always looming because they remind you constantly.
Yeah.
But I get that people who don't like Marvel villains, and there are many of them, are going to have this similar problems with her, but to a lesser extent.
I think
they're getting better.
Yeah, and I think what excuses it for me to make her an average villain and not below average or unacceptable is the fact that her backstory is fascinating, where Odin was evil at one point.
Yeah.
He's literally conquering and through blood and destruction, and he sort of covers that all up in the murals in his palace, and she breaks it, and it's there. This is true. Yeah. She's not lying. She's not manipulative. She's not lying about all this. It's true. And she's back and basically wants to bring Asgard to glory again and conquer the universe with zombies, space zombies.
Which is the only nitpick I've got. The zombie costumes,
space zombie
were
Vikings,
bad.
Yeah, the CGI could have been.
They were wearing. So the problem when you have like skeleton warriors and you put skeleton masks over a normal face is you end up with these gigantic skeleton faces.
Yeah, I noticed.
And
you noticed that
they
too?
didn't look. They weren't terrible. I mean, they weren't like a Bruce Campbell movie, but they're not.
Yeah, but we're
Amazing.
we're having to pick at these, and these would not even be an issue if
In an average
if the other
movie.
film wasn't right. Exactly. Let's see what else. Even Idris Elba's character had something to do here in the sense that he gets to save his people and start the underground resistance against Hela and sort of get his honor back because he was sort of disgraced previously, sort of outcasted by Odin and stuff. But just, man, fantastic film, especially.
Yeah, I like all the characters. Everybody played a part. Nobody was just a wasted character.
And they set the tone right at the beginning, right?
Karl Urban was kind of wasted. Like, you have this character that's in there a lot.
Oh, I wanted to talk about that. Yeah, talk about Karl Urban.
He shows up in the beginning. It's super funny.
He loves his M16s.
Yeah, you want more. What is it?
Texas.
Texas.
I got these from Texas.
Droid.
Oh yeah,
This
this and
this
Destroy,
for sure.
because when you put them together, they destroy. So I was like, oh, I love him. I'm on board. Can't wait to see him rush in and save the day. But they kept sort of playing this. Oh man,
He sulked the entire
he sulked.
movie.
Oh, that Asgardian is dying. I probably shouldn't be doing this. And then the next scene, I probably shouldn't be doing this. And then the next scene, I probably shouldn't be doing this. And then the next scene, and I was like, all right, now you're kind of pissing me off, Karl.
Yeah.
And there was just a little bit too much of that. I would have rather have shown a little bit of remorse, but then actually said fuck it and go for it.
Yeah,
right?
he saved the day.
And no, go evil.
Oh, go evil.
But
yeah.
then realized at the end that he's losing and he's out for sort of himself a little bit and he sort of hides amongst the people. Remember, he's out for himself. He goes on the ship and then make his heroic moment so he's got a heroic death. Yes, it's okay for a completely evil person or an unredeemable person to then have a turnaround and try to save the day, so as long as they die.
Yeah.
In a heroic death.
Speaking of deaths,
But they weren't bold enough to show, because they wanted you to be sympathetic
didn't
to him,
commit,
and
yeah.
you didn't, and that just part didn't work.
Yeah,
But
I needed
anyways.
him to commit. But we were talking about deaths. There was a lot of characters that we're used to in the Thor universe that just died.
I didn't recognize those people at the beginning, and I were those people his posse in the first film.
Every one of his posse are dead except for Lady Sif, where we didn't see her at all.
Yeah, she didn't show up at all.
But the other-
that's
the
supposed to
other
be his
three-
girlfriend, and sometimes in the comics.
Yeah.
You gotta wonder where she was. Like, the actress. I read somewhere that the actress had a conflict and couldn't be in it, so they'll probably just explain it away. But yeah, you're right. Unceremonious deaths for his posse from the first film. But I think that part of that is like the director and the writers know that first film. So
We
sweep
need
that
to
under
get
the
rid of
rug,
everything from the first two
sweep that under
films.
the rug.
Yeah.
But that Asian general sort of guy who leads the Asgardian armies, he got a few good fucking hits in on her before going down.
And
So
he
I
was
thought
funny as well.
Yeah.
he was funny. Oh yeah. How was he
I
funny?
know who you are. It's like, did you not listen to my speech? I just told you.
I just told you I'm Hela.
Hela comes in explaining her whole backstory, and he goes, I don't know who you are or where you come from. And she's like, what? Did you not listen to it? But we're gonna kick your ass if you don't get out of here. I was like, oh my god, this is the best. This is the best. This is the best. Love the Asgard stuff. Love the costume designs. Everything except for the
Korg.
zombies.
Zombies are bad.
Yeah.
Korg was 11 out of 10.
Korg, 11 out of 10. He did so good. Him and his little fucking, little bug guy that does the knives. But I just want to be his friend. I just want to have a beer with him. I want to hang out with him. I was so concerned that they were going to put him all out in the gladiatorial arena, right?
Yeah.
And Korg was going to die or something. But no, that was just between Thor and Hulk, which was another fantastic scene. But Thor won. Nobody here thinks Hulk won, right? Thor won. Even though in the comics, Hulk probably could beat Thor.
I don't understand how he gets his powers.
Who?
Thor gets his powers. He gets like 1,000 watts or whatever, and he still has his chip. That thing would have been fried.
Oh yeah, sorted out.
Totally would have been fried.
Exactly. I
Come
Space
didn't
technology,
consider that.
and it's insulated space technology. You just don't know.
But I was like, what? It didn't come off?
But Joe, would you want a Korg spinoff on Netflix?
Yes.
Fuck yes.
Yes.
I want a Korg spinoff on Netflix. I will pay you money.
I
will
died
pay
laughing.
you $1,000 of my own money. Marvel, please. He's such a funny character.
Oh, yeah.
He could be like a Misfits, right? There's so many bad Marvel shows coming out these days because they're oversaturated.
Instead of
Well, I
Iron
guess
Fist
it's not
2.
just. It's not. Hold on, it's not just like Inhumans. Instead of Inhumans, I want Korg and Company to do his thing. But yeah, man, fantastic film. So it's this undying wolf comes into play. She's one of the. He serves Hela. And who do they have go against the wolf?
Well, we see in the trailers, right, that you see the Hulk running through and punching it in the face.
Oh yeah,
and it was a pretty satisfying fight.
Yeah, I was thinking, well, you can't really kill the wolf, so how do you take care of it? He fell off,
You threw him off the water.
Threw him off a waterfall, but that planet exploded.
Yeah.
By the way, so
He's
maybe.
gone.
He's in the underworld, being able to come back. And technically, he did die. So maybe he's not an undying. I'm thinking of a different character, I think. Because he was dead before Under the Ground, where she raised her army. But let's talk a little bit about how this sort of connects into the larger Marvel universe and what it implies in the future. Alex, do you...
And the final...
Other than the Doctor Strange stuff.
Well, so we know that it's 2 years after... Age of Ultron, and so it's exactly 2 years afterwards. So Thor's been running around the universe looking for Infinity Stones and trying to prevent Ragnarok, which is really important to his whole world blowing up. And at the end of the movie, when after Ragnarok blows up, which is how they defeat Hela, all of the Asgard people are on this giant space barge with Loki. And earlier we had seen Loki walk past the Tesseract.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And there's a lot of artifacts on Asgard that just blew up, and you're like, wait a minute. Oh shit! There was an Infinity Stone in there, but they have that scene where he
walks right past it, and he doesn't take it, but he acknowledges it.
No, he kind of stops, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But you don't actually see him take it. But then the scene cuts to something else.
He took it.
So you think Loki has it?
Oh,
well, of course, he's not going to let the thing go past him. And then Thanos also told him earlier, like in the first Avengers, that like no matter where I go, he's going to find me if I fail. And if he's got it in his pocket. Thanos.
That's a chip for Loki to use with Thanos to get him out.
Yeah.
Get him out of jail free. Because at the end, we see this huge ship. A lot of people probably confused in the mass audience who don't know what this ship was. In the first post-credit scene, they're all on the ship and fucking, Thor is the captain / king now and he's lost an eye, which kind of sucks, by the way. I don't want him to lose an eye. It wasn't part of the story, right?
Yeah.
Like, it didn't impact anything, so it was kind of odd that they chose to do it. At some point
in the comics, did he lose an eye that they're trying to sort of... Or they just want to give him sort of a space pirate feel because we're going with the space Vikings pirate things that now they're nomadic. I think that's what they were going for with the visual design, which, by the way, is immaculate in this film. Even the end credits are fucking beautiful to look at. which makes it a treat to get to the end scene where even huger ship sort of blocks the path between the Asgardians. They were headed to Earth. They were like, well, maybe we can make a home on Earth, and it's going to be a little awkward for you to show up, Loki. And then a big ship shows up, and that's Thanos' ship. I'm pretty certain of it. I think it's Thanos' ship. And you're saying, well, Loki maybe doesn't have to go to Earth because he can use that card that he has. Here's the Infinity Stone. And Thanos is like, all right, get out of my face. The rest of you, you're fucked. You know, that kind of shit. So that's going to be super interesting. And then there's another post-credit scene that we'll talk about where Jeff Goldblum is alive. Yay! So maybe we can see more of Jeff Goldblum's character.
He's gonna be food.
Yeah, he's gonna be food.
You think he's gonna be food? Well, there's a revolution, right? They started a revolution on his planet. He's like, hey, we did a good job on that revolution, right? It takes two sides, and I did a pretty good job.
So let's call it a tie.
So it's a tie. And I hope he lives because I want to see him meet the so he's the Grandmaster. I want to see him meet the Collector.
Yeah, they look.
And they I think they're brothers or cousins or something like that, and that should be funny towards the end. Maybe after the Infinity War ends and the jewels get scattered, they get together to try to collect them or something. And I don't know, but it seems pretty cool. So yeah, I think it's pretty much it. Really enjoyed it.
Movie,
Every single part of it. The Rainbow Road's in it. Hela has a great action scene where she takes on a bunch of infantry. And spaceships.
To see, more of that Valkyrie and Hela fight.
Oh yeah,
that would be cool.
That was almost like I love the little moments that they do these sort of paintings kind of thing where you're going in slow-mo and stuff, and one of those was this really impressive moment where they're all riding on Pegasus with the Valkyries attacking Hela way back in the past. And what I didn't understand, maybe you can explain it to me, how is Prisoner 146, the chick, still alive? She has to be way older than Thor. Because she was alive during when Hela was around, right?
Yeah. I don't remember if they touched on the
planet. And she was around before Thor was born.
So
but
well,
yet she looks just...
That planet
maybe it's a planet.
Because Jeff Goldblum's mentioned
like,
a couple
I'm
times
supposed to
being
be
like 1 million years old or something.
Anyways,
Yeah.
He doesn't say his age. He's like, but in my time, you'll be like...
And he just says, anyway.
There's a
because
problem
he didn't
with
want
time.
to
He
say
didn't
his
say
age.
his age, but
Anyways.
he's old as fuck, basically.
Yeah, he's old as fuck.
It was a planet.
Okay, so it's a little time thing. Oh, yes. The only other gripe that I would pick at is the fact that they all end up on the same planet. Maybe they could have dropped a line or two to explain that this planet sort of sucks in things because of its time. Yeah, from the outside. Because it turns out Hulk is already on this planet. Turns out Thor's on the planet. Loki landed on the same planet even though he fell out of the rainbow teleportation far before Thor. And he should have landed in a different part of the galaxy, but all three of them land on this fucking planet. Not 3, 4, because of the Valkyrie. So all 4 of these people land on the same planet when there are countless galaxies.
They did kind of explain that planet is at the collection point of thousands of portals. Like Heimdall explains it. So it's literally the
That's
trash
why there's so
dump.
much. Okay.
It's like so for all the things. So you get lost outside of the Bifrost.
Didn't pick up on that. I just thought it was a trash planet, but no, it's a collections planet. He's not the collector. He's the Grandmaster of the collection. All right, guys. Great film. Go out and see it. Thank you for watching our extended spoilers discussion. And stay tuned for more content. We'll see you guys on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.